Eternal Wave Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the second episode of the Eternal Wave podcast. I'm Subterra, the host. To my right, I got Mr. ElKool, the one and only. Across from me, I got Ferret. And then diagonal from me, we got Elemental P, also known as
Hola, mi
Willister.
amigo.
Hola, mi amigo. Okay.
Oh my god, I got
um,
attacked, bro.
and for anyone listening, I am sick as fuck right now, so I might sound fucking stupid today. So you're gonna have to bear with me. All right, so the first thing that we are going to talk about today is putting the nation together. A lot of shit went into it. It wasn't overnight. It was a lot of planning went into it. ElKool, I mean, you really took the initiative.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of it started as a joke, honestly. My good friend Drafinaris made a map of the United States of Adramas. He actually put that on the map, USA, and he thought it was just a funny joke, you know. But I looked at the map and I thought about it. I'm like, wait a second, maybe we could actually make this happen. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where it came from, and uh, and I kind of pursued that dream, and a lot of cool people on the continent also bought into the idea and to the dream, and here we are today. So really great.
I
I
mean, with a
definitely
name
fuck
like
with
that,
that.
who wouldn't get on board?
Yeah,
Bro, I,
honestly.
I was low-key
Absolutely.
gonna war Zamots because I was
Oh
on the
my
board.
god. No, I'm not gonna lie. We were dead ass ready to war Valve Reach. That was like one of our. That's why it was like one of our contingencies to
Yeah,
fucking join.
yeah.
We got rid of those scumbags because that land was mine.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, we there was a lot of tensions between us and Gartek and Blake. In fact, I remember the first time I ever talked to Blake, me and him cussed each other out
Oh my
and how we
god.
crashed out at each other. Um,
Really?
so I remember, yeah, dude. I mean, it's actually kind of a miracle that we went from that, all of us fighting each other, Zamots and Quintos, Zamots and Gartek, Las Vidas and Gartek,
It's Gertech,
just
bro. It's Gertech,
Gertek,
please.
Gertek. My bad,
Thank
my
you.
It's
bad.
a
Thanks.
game you
I was
can't
speaking. It was
ignore.
bothering me. Yeah, I was like, all right, you said it once. It's not that deep, but
Yeah,
um,
yes,
but
it's
yeah.
kind of a miracle we're here today.
You know,
It's awesome.
I remember the VC that we have pretty vividly. I was really surprised, like when you like pitched me about it, and I don't know, I was honestly like scared because like I'm fucking dude, I'm the last fucking person to join a democracy, bro, and that's like when I talk to all like my like nation leading friends, they're like, I don't understand how you out of all the fucking people in the world, fucking are in the largest democracy and you fucking got the presidency, like that kind of shit. So I really had
Yeah,
no idea what to expect. I yeah, but I
Been there,
mean,
not.
I don't know the sole factor of why like I was like really into it is because when I told like my province leaders and my citizens, everyone was like, "Yo, that sounds fun as fuck." So I was
yeah.
like,
When you're uniting a continent of multiple nations and multiple different groups of people, it's a lot easier to get them to buy into like the idea of democracy and everybody having a say and everybody voting on stuff and all of us you know being like equal rather than trying to sell them on some sort of idea where, oh, we're gonna do an empire and you guys all have to swear loyalty to one person or whatever.
yeah,
I don't think a dramas would have ever happened if it wasn't a democracy. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean,
Yeah.
Adramus before Adramus was going to be it was like the Aurelian Empire. Did anyone
Oh
remember that? We talked
god.
about it in like the
I
last
remember that.
episode, but
I
yeah, no, that was a shit show.
That
Um,
that felt that was actually what me and Blake ended up cussing each other out over.
oh my
And that's what
god,
it was. Blake from our perspective, from the Zamot's perspective, Blake wanted to kind of like run the Aurelian Empire. He was supposed to be the emperor. And Zamots was like, well, we don't really want to be under, a Gertek emperor, you know? Um so that goes right back to it. It's democracy is what brought us all together in the first place. You know what I mean?
Blake forced
hundred
himself to
percent.
be your grandfather too, or like your grandkid, something like that.
Yeah, dude, I spent a long time banned and I come back and Blake is my grandkid and he leads Gertech, you know? It's
Yeah.
just really weird. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Another member of the family. It's all good.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The only thing that pissed me off about all that shit was Las Vegas becoming a state. I'm gonna be honest, but I had to
Oh
like,
God.
I went to Las Vegas and Algernon. And I was like, we're gonna war the fuck out of you if you don't join our democracy.
Yeah,
Obviously,
well,
I kind of bit us in the ass later on, but honestly, I can't really
yeah,
say that. I like Zamox a lot more than Algernon.
yeah. Well, there was I feel like when we formed the nation, there's two distinct people, right, that were on the continent of Dromis. There were the people that bought into the idea and that fell in love with the idea and the nation, and there were people that maybe they went along with it, but they never really fully like loved it. They never really bought
Yeah,
into it, And I think we saw a lot of that in the first election. In fact, when we had the first election, the one that Ferret won and became president, I to be honest, I had no idea what was going to happen. I thought there was a big chance that whoever loses this election is going to crash out and is going to fucking war everybody, and like I had no idea what was going to happen. Luckily, everybody was a good sport, but one of the
I mean,
candidates.
yeah, well, not
I'm
everybody.
mostly.
Mostly, but well, yeah, one of the I mean, but that goes to show, some people just weren't bought into it. Like one of the candidates, his entire state ended up just leaving after he lost the election, right?
Yeah, but that's what
Um,
just pissed me the fuck off, bro. Because it's like, I don't know, the ego tripping is crazy. Like,
right. Yeah.
it's not that deep. Like, I was pissed off for one day when I lost the election. The next day, I was like, Fair, what do you need me to do? Like, I was here. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like his whole attitude is like that. It just goes to show why he didn't win the presidency.
Yeah.
So that's all
Yeah.
on him, bro. That's just like crash out.
Yeah.
You could ruin your whole fucking what's it called? Like you can lose all your respect and all your experience that you say you have. It don't matter when you fucking crash out on a fucking crazy level like that, and you're like, I'm selling all my land. I'm getting the fuck out of here because you can't handle you lost a Minecraft election. Like shut the fuck up,
That's
pussy.
it. I mean,
It's so
he's also
fucking
British,
embarrassing.
so that's crazy.
I
You know
know,
what
but
I'm
bro,
saying?
it's embarrassing. Like it's not that fucking
That's,
deep.
that election, I thought you were gonna win hands down, sub. And
I thought
part
I
of
was
me was
gonna win
playing it.
too.
Yeah, part of me was playing on crouching out, but like I think like a few days before the election, I was like, you know what? Who gives a fuck if I win or lose this shit? We got something special here. I am not gonna fucking kill it over my ego.
But here's the
That's
thing,
right.
bro. And this is why I lost the first election. I didn't try, Like I came in with like a big ego. I was like, oh, like nobody gotta like me, blah blah blah. Like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Vote for me. I wasn't trying. I wasn't like going to people like, hey, you should vote for me. I wasn't like spamming fucking political statements. I didn't have any propaganda. Like I was literally just like, I'm here. And like, yeah, it was a close fucking vote without me trying. But if I did try, I really think I could have won that election.
It was quite the shock. I mean, Ferret, like when I realized that Adramus what actually might work is when Ferret won the election, because Ferret was a complete. I mean, Ferret. I mean, obviously
I
he
was a
was high up
nobody.
in. You were, yeah. I mean, essentially, yeah. I didn't want to be rude, but yeah, you were essentially nobody. You were new to Stoneworks. You didn't play on Rathnir or Eldham very much. You were pretty much a nobody, and you were able to make a name for yourself within the Adrama system and get people outside of just your state and just your friend group to vote for you. That's when I thought, okay, maybe this will actually work in the long run. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
I know
that's
it
when
was a
the deep
shocker.
state started, actually.
Yeah, that's right there. That's the moment that you start.
I wasn't planning on running. It was actually I for the longest time thought you would run for the election. I thought, oh, if ElKool runs, he gets it. Hands down, no point trying to run because I would just lose to ElKool.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason I didn't run is I mean, I think it's important. I think the whole idea of the station is to have, a revolving door of leadership, a revolving door of people
Yeah.
who are eager and willing to step up and take charge. I feel like if I ran, like you said, I probably just would have won. And if I ran after that, I probably just would have won. And at that point, what's the difference between a democracy and a monarchy, and an empire, right? I wanted new people to step up, you know. And clearly, I mean, look around. We have so many,
Yeah.
so much bright talent in Adramus. I think that's one of the beauties of Adramus is, we have a system where anybody can rise up and anybody
Yeah,
can make a name for
absolutely.
themselves.
And
Yeah.
people want to make a name for themselves because it's Stoneworks. Like
Yeah.
people leave like no people in like monarchies all over the world, they want to start a rebellion, but they move to Adramis and they just, oh, I want to run for NA and just chill out, like run this shit. Oh, go in the fucking departments and work on that shit. It's
It's just
like
like a
they
safe
don't
career
want like,
path.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
don't have to do no coup, no bullshit like that.
Yeah. Basically, if you don't get the position of power you want, wait a couple months, run for election again. Monarchy, you don't get it, your only choice is rebellion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, we're really big on this thing called, consent of the governed and will of the people, right? So it's really just it's up to you. Like anybody could make it in a dramas. Anybody. We're not a tight knit friend group.
Yeah.
Like
Besides the deep
everybody here,
state.
I
besides
mean,
the deep
except
state,
the deep state. Yeah,
every
oh
Oh my
yeah.
God.
everybody here has our differences. We all the time we're
Yeah.
arguing about
Me and
different
ElKool have
ideas.
crashed out on each other countless
A
fucking
lot of
times,
times.
bro.
Countless
Countless
times.
and we're gonna do it
But-
again. We're gonna keep,
but at
and
the
that's fine though.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I know that you are doing what you think is best for Dramas. You know that I'm doing what I think is best for Dramas, and even if we don't see eye to eye, at the end of the day, bro,
We can still respect each other.
yeah, and we're on the same team.
Yeah.
That's what's important. That's what you gotta remember.
But here's the
We're all on
thing. But here's the
same
thing.
team.
Like we can all fucking be like like cursing each other, crashing out, blah blah blah. But then as soon as fucking Padalov's on the fucking door, we're all fucking a united front. We put all this shit to the
Absolutely.
side and we're like,
Yeah,
let's
we're
go fucking
talking to
deal
you,
with the
Pablo,
problem. Yeah, you
Pablo,
stupid
fuck you.
motherfuckers. What's good, bitch?
We're a family. Nobody can shit on each other but each other.
Yeah, bro. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's one of the things I
Exactly.
love about this nation, and like
But
the
it
nationality is just.
it took a lot to get there. I think the part of the reason why we're able to do that is because we spent so long at odds with each other, at each other's
Yeah.
throats. Like, bro, I remember one of the first people I talked to about the idea of Adramis was Voitantis in Las Vegas.
Oh,
And
God.
this guy, when I was talking to him, I was like, "Yeah, dude, we're gonna unite the continent. We're gonna link up with Marvia, this and that." He was like, "Hell no." He was like, "There's no way I'd ever, join sides with Marvia." And dude, he was telling me, in fact, I have a RP like nuke that I had pointed at. He said he had a nuclear bomb pointed at San Sventisma. And he was like, every day, like I talked to him for like a week straight, like trying to convince him and sell him on dramas. Every day he's like, "Oh, cool! Today I'm going to do it. Today I'm going to launch the
Gonna launch
nuke
it.
Yeah.
at San Sventisma."
And then I went I went up to his ass. I was like, I'm about to fucking war you if you don't fucking join. And he was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but like,
And that's
like
why he
nowadays,
quit.
it's
And
just-
then he gave it to Troy.
yeah, and nowadays San Sventisma and Las Vegas are like, they're not best of friends, but
There's no
they're
beef.
brothers.
There's no beef.
They're
Yeah.
they're in the same nation.
Yeah.
They have the same.
Yeah.
They're brothers, right? So I mean, it's really crazy how far we've come, and I feel like that type of us having that history is what allows us to be able to have open debate and discussion with each other and be honest with each other and still nobody getting butthurt over it. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Listen, there's always gonna be some
With a
sour
friend
apples,
situation.
but
Yeah.
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 And I think we have like the largest real population on like Stoneworks. I'm talking to you, Ishanor, like you have all these fucking bots voting in
The
the
bots,
census.
bro. The
yeah,
drones,
bro.
we-
dude.
Literally, bro.
we
Literally.
have
I need
the
to see. I
clones.
need to see proof that
peons.
I don't know more than 5 like Ishanor people. Like I've never seen more than 5 Ishanor people at once. Like there's no way. There's no way. But it doesn't matter. We're coming for them.
real.
Pause.
Mark my words, bro. Yeah. Mark my words. Adramis will become the #1 nation of population. Mark my words. All right.
Next
This
census, bro,
population's
next
a
census.
myth.
What the fuck? Oh my god! Look at Uncle Hub outside.
I know.
Get out of here, you old man.
Through the window. Hey, that's the next episode right there. That's the next episode.
Yeah. Should we do like a Las Vegas San Francisco episode?
Yo, that's a
It
good
would be
idea.
fun,
No,
actually.
yeah,
That'd be
maybe we do
fantastic.
that. Maybe we do that. But I don't want to get off topic. We're here to talk about the presidency. So,
Yes, sir.
ElKool, what was it like being like the interim president and like, it was kind of uncharted
weird.
waters. Yeah.
It was.
could
I mean,
imagine.
so my goal, I didn't see myself as like the president, my job was just to get the government off the ground in a state where, you know, we could have an election and we could have a national assembly and we could have everything in place for there to be a real president to come in. Now, you know, I mean, there was now I did have to, you know, step up and do a lot of diplomacy and things like that. I remember at that time, you know, there's a lot of squatters on the continent. There was, you know, Valdreach, obviously, who did not,
Yeah.
you know, did not really care for what we were doing. And so there was a lot. I mean, it was weird, and it took a lot of talks. I remember, man, that week, the first week of the country, and when the constitutional convention up to the first election. I mean, I was in VC for hours every day talking to different people. Everybody had a problem with something, you know. So you're constantly trying to have to like balance like one person's desires with another person's
Yeah.
desires. Arguing about who would get the Discord, who would get the nation claim, who would get the this and that. So my presidency was probably like no other presidency. But it only lasted 2 weeks, and I remember I was so relieved when we finally got the first election off without a hitch, and everything went smoothly, and I could just kick my feet up and sit back and relax. I actually took a month break after that first election because
Dude, we
yeah,
know.
Dude, each term
We
takes
know.
fucking 2 years off your life, IRL.
it does. It really does.
Honestly.
Yeah,
But
and I remember when I
Mhm.
took the month off, and I come back and we're at war. And, like,
Yeah.
the nation's like being held together by a threat. I'm like, oh shit, what happened, dude?
I'm basically saying, yeah, guys, sorry, Dad left for milk. He's not
Yeah.
coming back.
bro, I'm not gonna lie, ElKool, I was so pissed that you dipped. On
Yeah.
God, I was pissed. It was because I don't know, I just feel like we needed all the firepower that we could possibly get. And but like, listen,
Yeah,
you know,
you're
like
right.
in retrospect, like, was it that fucking deep? No. Like, but
Well, I did come back eventually.
no, you did
And
come
we did,
back. Yeah. So I remember
we
when you
did
told
do
me
our
like, hey, I
thing.
want to come back, I'm gonna run for NA, all that, I was like, alright, I think we're gonna be alright.
Yeah, yeah. I
Your
mean,
Dad's back.
yeah. I mean, the my presidency. It was. I got burnt out. I needed a break. It was. I mean, burnout is real, man.
No,
It's a real
definitely.
thing. And I think that's another reason why, you know, our system where we have, you know, elected leaders and kind of this revolving door of Adramas, you know, leaders. I think that's a good thing because everybody coming in is always fresh energy. You know, everybody's always coming in fresh and rejuvenated and high energy. You know, whereas a lot of other Star Wars leaders, they get burnt out and they just go inactive and their nation is just left to rot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, 100%, bro. That's it happens to more nations than it doesn't. That's probably how
Yeah.
most nations die.
Now I will say, I think Ferret probably had the hardest presidency so far. That the whole situation. Well, because I mean, Ferret, we created this nation, large nation, lots and lots of people, but not everybody was like okay with it. You know, all the state leaders were okay with it, but there was a lot of people that were like not necessarily, you know, willing to play ball with
I
the
mean, I
whole
was basically
democracy.
having to sell to people individually on a drama as a concept.
Yeah, and then at the same time we had the war in the north, and Valdreach left, and Finnish took over the claim, and Finnish had backing by, you know, big foreign powers and stuff, and we had that pressure on us, and then, you know, Ogerman leaving and Audrevere, you know, succeeding and joining Finnish. Fair, you had to deal with a lot. I don't know how you did it, honestly. I don't know how you put up with all that. It was crazy.
Honest, the month after I stopped being president, my GPA went up by a full point.
Oh
Damn.
God.
Yeah, jeez.
Like
Yeah,
I
hey,
did it
anybody.
from B's and C's to A's and B's.
Yeah, hey, anybody that wants to become president out there, that's the sacrifice you got to make, man. It's really no
Then you
Sacrifice.
joke.
gotta run up 30 flights of stairs to make a debate. That's what you also gotta do.
Holy fuck! I will never forget that. My fucking legs were in pain.
Oh
Dude, I
my
remember
god.
those debates. I remember. So nowadays, debates are like heavily like our dramas debates are like very moderated, very well constructed. Back then, this is when I ran the debates. I like literally just let everybody like go at each other's throats.
Oh my
I
god.
was very. I kind of liked the chaos. So the debates back then were crazy, dude. Like, Subterra, remember you and
They were beautiful.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I still don't think I've ever lost a debate. I mean, and I've been at every single debate for whatever I'm running for. Um, but it was definitely more fun. It was more entertaining, but it
but
wasn't. more
There was definitely more
convincing.
beef.
Yeah.
More beef came out of it.
The
Yeah.
protective
But then it's
mindset.
like we do like the structured debates, and then fucking other people are like, when are we actually gonna debate? It's like, no, you just want to like hurl insults and like talk shit. It's like, I don't know. I don't believe like if you have to bring other people down for like your political game, I think you're a bad politician. I don't. If you like, you
Exactly.
know what I mean. Like
I agree.
put
Yeah.
yourself up. Don't bring other people down. That just goes to show that like, I don't know. It just fucking it's just stupid, and it just makes you look stupid.
I know
So.
exactly. This will maybe sound naive, but I like a bit of honor to my politics, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like, we are
definitely.
all here for the same goal, a better nation. There's no need for us to be sitting on each other on personal shit.
Yeah. We're all on the same team.
Yeah,
Like that's what I
bro.
keep
It's
telling people.
one
I tell
team.
people that all the time. It's all one team. You know, in the day a dramas becomes like this person versus this person. This is why I'm so against political parties, because the day becomes, you know, this party versus the other party. You know, we're no longer on the same team. Then we're on opposing teams, right? And then I think the day that happens, you know, that might be it. So I mean, as long as we remember, hey, we're all working together. We all have the same goal. We have the same mission. We might disagree on ways to get there. Um, I think Adramas will be great. The greatest to ever do it.
The greatest. One of the
Bastard.
best. No, definitely. I definitely agree with you. It just, I don't know. I think, honestly, I personally think that political parties are, like, a part of Adramas' future down the line. Not anytime soon. I don't necessarily want them to be, but I just think it's, like, the natural progression of, like, this type of government body.
So the
But,
argument that people make is that political parties are inevitable, and it's just human nature. There's nothing you can really do to stop it. My argument would be, as long as the people of Adramas, you know, understand the dangers of political parties and why they could be really bad for the nation, then I think as long as the people understand that, the people won't let it happen. You know, it's really up to the people. You know, if the people stop caring and if they're like, yeah, you know, we'll have political parties and backroom dealing and you know voting blocks and all this stuff, then yeah, you know, I mean, at that point it's gonna happen. But as long as the people are like, no, you know what, we don't want political parties. We don't want the nation to become party versus party, person versus person. You know, then I think we'll be okay. I don't know. There was a time. The reason why I'm so against political party, I have a lot. There's a lot of good examples, but the best one is in Zamots. You know, back in early Apex, Zamots had political parties. And there were two main political parties, kind of like you know in real life, the Democrats and Republicans. There were two main political parties, and it got really nasty. Like the two main political parties were like attacking each other, calling each other like name. It got really bad, and basically everybody in the nation picked a side, right? And at that point, it's like you know you're basically at war with yourself, right? And what ended up happening was one of the parties eventually won the election, and the other party like they all just quit the server because they were like we don't ever want to be in a nation led by these other people because that's how much vitriol and hatred was built up from this you know team versus team political party system. And Zamott's took a big hit. We lost a lot of really good players who have actually never returned.
damn.
So yeah, after seeing that, I will never join a political party. I will always be vocal against political parties. Anybody who is in a political party, you are not getting my vote. So if anybody creates a political party, I'm not voting for you. Um, I'm hard against political parties.
Yeah.
Party could work. It's just a drama is the way we have it set up. It's not the nation for them. I think the way we have our voting system set up with the tiered votes inherently makes political parties significantly harder to organize electorally. It's just it would require a lot of coordination because you basically have to get people going. Okay, we need X amount of people to vote for candidate A in our party, and we can't have anyone else vote for them, or else their vote will be wasted. We need another group of people to vote for candidate B within our party. No one else can vote for them. It would just be requiring you'd have to go to each individual person voting for your party and coordinate who they vote for in order to properly get it to work electorally.
Yeah. It'd be our system is kind of set up to protect against you know political parties and all the shenanigans that come with it. But you know, I've seen a big push for political parties lately, and I just don't under why do we need political parties? Why do we want
I
political
don't know.
parties?
I couldn't answer that question.
like I can think of a bunch of cons and not very many pros. So
Yeah.
If
I'm
we're to
big
do
against
political parties, I think we'd have to redo the entire constitution to be more parliamentary, and we'd also have to organize the political parties ahead of time, where instead of being based off ideology, like we're the conservative party or we're the social democratic parties, I don't think ideological parties would work on Minecraft. We do them like I am the builders party. We push for doing bigger builds in the dramas, or I'm the grinders party. We push for grinding at the dramas, or I'm the PvPers party. We push for PvPing. I think the
I
only way
like
you could
that.
do political parties
Yeah.
would work is
I want to be
if
the
they are based on
PvPers
the
party.
economic interest of the players based in Minecraft. If you do it off ideological parties, then what happens is players start treating their parties as a form of political wish fulfillment. So when they don't
Right.
get their wish fulfillment by having their party win, they go elsewhere.
See, that makes
Mm.
sense because that makes it's not personal at that point.
Exactly.
It's
It's
not.
just I'm a builder, you're the grinder. People just want to build more currently instead of grind more, so we get more votes. When people want to grind
Right,
more, you'll
right.
get more votes.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
The grinders
Yeah,
will
but
never win.
we already
Oh,
have
probably never.
departments. Yeah, that people are lazy,
Yeah, bro.
especially
People don't want to
Andromian
grind.
citizens, bro. Like the
Yeah.
laziest
We pay
motherfuckers.
you motherfuckers and you still don't do shit. That's my favorite
That
part.
is the craziest thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Every single nation I've been a part of,
Has
it's like
never paid.
all the grinders. It's just like you grind for like the good of the nation.
Yeah.
Adramas is the only nation I've seen where there's like an idea of like paying people to grind. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
To me.
no, it's stupid. I think it's stupid at least. I fucking
But I mean, it does go to show Adramas, we respect our citizens a lot more than any other nation. And I mean
Yeah.
that's just like we allow citizens the right to vote for our leader. We allow citizens the right to vote for our national assembly members. Like it's interesting. It's a cool nation. It's a unique nation, dude. There's
It
nothing
is,
like Adramas.
but Adramus is a unicorn though. I don't think that there could be like another Adramus like somewhere else. And that's just solely
It'd be
because
really hard.
like you think about it, there was like one or two colonizers maybe on the continent. Everyone just wanted their shit. There wasn't too much beef. Like it was just after the Cold War, so things were calming down. It was the right place at the right time with the right people. Like the fucking planets aligned for this shit to happen.
Yeah, we didn't even start like at the start of the server. Like people always complain, "Oh, Adramus is so far behind compared to all these other nations or whatever." But like we recently
still new,
started
yeah.
compared to
Most
like
nations now are like a
Ishimura or
year old.
Gardania.
Like there's so
Yeah,
many
Gardania
events
Gardania
right
is
now.
like 5 years old, for
Yeah.
example.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like when you look at our competition, like I see Ishinor as our biggest competitor, like from a friendly competition standpoint.
Yeah.
Like I always look at Ishinor to like judge like our metrics on how we should be doing. But the thing is, Ishinor, like they were a group from outside of Stoneworks that before the map launched, they pre-planned everything. They were all everything was organized prior to Apex. Whereas Adramus was a nation that that organically came together
Yeah.
in the thick of it, in the middle of the world, right? So we're definitely like
I
we're
think
definitely
we are
at
a
a bit of a
product of our
disadvantage
environment.
because
That's how I
Yeah.
would describe it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's a great thing though. That's just why I love this country. We are just so unique, and yeah, like I said, we're a unicorn.
Man, this podcast has just become the Adramus Glaze podcast. We need to get into something.
Yeah,
I mean,
Adramus.
we
too.
deserve it.
Controversial.
Hey, we're not
Everything
perfect.
is
We are not
fact.
perfect. Fucking, like some people leave all the time.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like the citizen system. Like yeah, it works, but
Holy
I think
shit.
the recruitment department needs some work. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
listen, it was
Hopefully
better
we
than
got- we
what
got
we
new
had
people in
before.
there.
I think Zeno did a good job, like trying to mend what he could. No shade to Zeno. No, definitely no shade.
yeah. There's definitely a lot
Canada
of work to be
battle.
done.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one aspect from another nation I wish we had. Zilatra down south, I fucking love their centralization. And just everything
Socialist,
is
get out.
No, no, no.
Oh my
Communist.
God, get out of
everything.
here,
One
bro.
Discord. One
Nah,
Discord.
hell nah.
No, one
I
Discord is crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
But
we can never
they've
do
been
it, but I wish we could. I wish we could
But
do
that's
the
like
one Discord.
they've
the
been building
thing.
they've been building an identity for the Zolatra and USSE people, they've been building an identity for years at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Years and years.
Whereas we literally, we're just a ragtag group of different nations that just
Just a
decided to get,
bunch of dudes that decided,
bro.
yeah, we're not fighting anymore.
Yeah, we're
I
like,
think-
we're all
Just put a
stronger
grill.
together.
I think yeah, I do think federalism and state rights and all that is kind of just an inherent thing in Adramas, and it probably will be for a long time. It's going to take a while for us before we get to that point of centralization where people are just willing to delete their state discords, and just fully
It will
come
never
together.
happen.
But there's
You
there's a
think
beauty in
Valorum's
that.
gonna delete their state Discord?
but there
Come
is a
on.
beauty in that. There's a beauty in that. I think one thing I love about Adramas is we are very, very diverse, dude. Like we have all
Yes.
types of different people, all types of different build styles, all types of different ideologies, Like Adramas has literally something for everybody. And I think that's so awesome.
No, I fucking agree with you, bro. Like, we can get any type of fucking player, and they can find something to do. They can find a state that's like fit for them, and fucking like a good like group of people to vibe with, And it's like, oh, like you're new, you don't know anyone. There's always people in the Adramas VCs, like, you know what I mean? That we always got something going on, or like every week we have a fucking event. We figured the fuck out, We really try to get everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, Ferret, how would you describe like your management of the war during like your term?
Worst, my first war.
Your first one?
Yep, very first one with that war.
First war like ever.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Wow.
actually fucking wild, bro.
The first war ever on Abex. Yeah, that's
No.
true.
First war
Almost.
I had ever been in, just Minecraft in general. Never been in a factory
Oh my God.
before.
That's wild. To put that in
Oh, yeah.
perspective, I've been doing Minecraft wars for like almost
Years.
fucking 10 years.
Yeah,
since
bro,
I was like
same.
10 years old, Like
Real.
that's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Just for
If you
context,
got-
when I joined Stoneworks, I didn't know about the videos. I didn't know about the wars. I was just told by a friend, "Hey, come join this cool server with me."
Yeah, dude.
So we
You
just
got dropped
joined. I
right
didn't
in
like
the
the nation they wanted to make, so just went through and joined a random nation that had a cool flag.
Dude, I don't know. I just the thing about Stoneworks, I saw like a YouTube video, and it catfished the fuck out of the server, bro. Cause like, listen, like I joined the server, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a name for myself. I want to be a part of history. Like, oh, I'm gonna be like the king of the land, and I go to fucking Cartech, bro.
Cooked.
Bro, cooked. Listen, it was fucking amazing. I will never forget Cartech, bro. I'm getting a Cartech tattoo pretty soon, but yeah, bro. I mean, it was a shit show for a long time,
Never go
but
to
it was fun.
Starwood, guys. Never
Yeah,
go
no.
to
I'm not gonna lie, Ferret. For your first war like ever, you actually did a pretty good job. I mean, you didn't fuck anything up too bad.
Yeah, our logi was pretty good.
Yeah, Elijah was good.
I mean,
you guys.
except for Pancake and
Yeah.
them ratting everything
Pancake.
out.
Here's the thing,
and
you don't get
but
our
us
allies
I
didn't
got
like it.
TNT back. I got all the shit back that he took, bro. They gave it back to me because they know don't fuck with Subterra, but that's a different story.
Don't
Now,
get
I
me
was
started.
fucking up every morning in those for the wars in those fucking logic claims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you were
It's
like,
true,
I
he was
remember.
there. He was there.
I remember looking at the Stories chat one day, and you were getting hate, dude. Like just being the face of like a side, one of the sides of like a big war. You were like, people were flaming you for it. I'm like, damn, dude, he's really going through it. So you went through.
I
the
never knew
ringer,
that.
bro.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, dude, I remember looking at the chat, like the Discord, Stories Discord chat, and people were like making fun of Ferret. Dude, I was like, God damn, bro. Like
If
the
you got
feral
haters,
shit,
you're
bro.
doing it right. If you don't got
Exactly,
haters, you're
yeah.
doing something wrong.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely.
You can't make the vote better without pissing a few people off.
Absolutely. Willister,
Yeah.
what was it like being like a citizen and like seeing our presidential like campaigns and stuff, and like seeing our presidency terms, and like who do you think like not like was the best president, but who do you think surprised you the most?
Um, Probably Ferret, right? To
Hmm.
be honest, I expected Subterra to win. I think Ferret won because everyone hated Gertek, Marvia, like whatever at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
no,
like
I feel you.
Ferret won, and then we immediately go to war, and then like Ferret didn't like quit after the war because like usually what happens after wars is that like the main guys quit, the main guys burn out like very quickly. I mean, I kind of burnt out a little bit to be honest, but like damn, Ferret did pretty well. For crazy, fuck crazy. He took all my jobs. Terrible president.
No,
Like,
no,
fuck
no.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
just yeah. No, I remember that war was stressful. I remember like, I mean, dude, we were competing against like dupers, you know, like we
Yeah.
And
our
all the mercs.
yeah, and well, yeah, with the dupers, they had enough money to hire like every single merc group on the server. So our logi had to keep up with the dupers. Our PvPers had to keep up with every single merc group on the server. And like given that context, I think we
The
did
odds were
actually like
stacked against
amazing.
us, you know what I
The
mean?
odds were stacked against us, and we did really good. We
Yeah,
did
bro,
really
like
good.
where's
So
that Syria? Like, like we're still here.
Bro, bro, and the KD was crazy, bro. Like
Yeah.
fucking Aragon and Aragoth at the same time, bro. That's
I
crazy.
don't, dude. Like in hindsight, that was wild. A brand new nation, like low key and RP type like focused nation. We almost won. Like it was a draw, but we had more
Bro,
points
We
than them.
got more
We
points.
I will
we got
fucking
more
fight on
points.
this. We won that war and they fucking cheated. They combat logged. We had footage and staff even said they
Bro,
combat logged, but they weren't going to count it for
It
points.
was
But
yeah.
bullshit.
if they had counted it for points, we
It
would
was
have
bullshit.
won.
We would have won,
I
and
will die on
that's
this
against
hill.
Aragotha,
Yeah.
against Paragon, like every Podolov, bro. Every merc. I don't know how we did it. Honestly, that's fucking crazy. And they were all duping, bro. And they were duping. That's wild. We did. I'm actually impressed.
But here's my
That was
thing, bro.
beautiful.
How you gonna fucking cheat and still lose, bro? I'm sorry. If you like cheating, you have all the mercs, you have all the fucking sets in the world, bro. You can gear everybody. How do
Bro,
you lose
how did
that fucking
he? Bro,
war? How do
he
you
should have
lose
been
that?
down. How did he not get down to like Shirokiniza, Valorant, bro? He should have conquered the whole continent. I
Yeah,
don't know
Kiev
how.
in
Yeah.
three
Here's why.
days. Yeah,
They
what
were
the fuck?
incompetent. Like I talked to some of the admins for like trying to tell them, hey, these guys are duping. And I got told they can't be duping. We had been at their report stats and we've been watching them, and they were far too incompetent to be duping.
Oh my god.
Like I literally had an admin straight up tell me there is no way these guys are competent enough to be duping.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I remember. I remember looking at. Well, here's what happened, right? We knew that Solare, somebody in Solare, gave Finosh the initial $1 million to come and fight us, right?
Hmm.
So Solare funded Finosh, and I remember like keeping track of his balance and how much money they had, and like when they were gonna run out. And I remember we fought the first war. He hired all these mercs. The second war. And I remember just watching the balance trickle down and trickle down, and then the third, it's time for like the third battle that rolls around, and I tell all the merc groups, I'm like, hey guys, like if like let us know what if he tries to hire you, we will try to match the offer. And I remember he offered Paragon like $2 million worth of armor sets, and when they told me that, I was like, and they told me that, and then I looked at like Finosh's like playtime, and I looked at all of their playtimes. I'm like, there's no fucking way these people grinded all of that. Like, it's just not adding up.
Yeah,
They have
it's
no money,
impossible.
they have no playtime. There's no way that they grinded all that. So at that point, I do like, okay, these guys are definitely cheating. Absolutely.
Because I knew a couple of the mercs previously before the wars had been talking with them, and a lot of them said they'd be more than willing to fight for us. They were just waiting for this battle to be done. They figured Thanos would be out of money, so then they would swap to our side after we pay them. And only for them to come through saying, yeah, man, we don't know how, but Thanos somehow got us so much fucking money after that battle. We genuinely thought they were broke. Like, even the
Yeah.
mercs thought something was fishy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when a guy with zero balance, and like a few hours of playtime pulls $2 million worth of armor sets out of his ass, there's definitely something going on. There's definitely something going on there. But yeah, we did way better than I thought we would, given the circumstances. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the leadership. Everybody who pitched in that war, and the logi, the grinding, everything. It was a national effort. And I think I think that really we rise to the occasion, and that was like our first real challenge, our first real test. I mean, I feel like if the United States of Adramas could survive that, I think we could survive anything. You know.
Definitely. Like we are forced
They
to be
tr-
reckoned with.
yeah, they tried to get a bunch of claims to rebel. They got that to rebel, and they reached out to a bunch of other claims. And every claim they reached out to beyond that wouldn't told them to go pound sand.
Yeah, I mean, dude, because I fucked with them so hard, I convinced all of them that Marvia, like, 'cause I told them pretty much, like, me and ElKool had, like, a huge, like, crash out argument, and, like, I hated ElKool, and I wanted to do anything to fuck over the USA, right? So, like, I was in group chats with them, I was talking shit, I was, yeah, fuck all them, and then, like, the day comes, they're like, alright, it's time to do all that. I'm like in a group chat with them. I was like, "You stupid motherfuckers really thought like I was gonna like what the fuck?" And I was telling it to their face. And then like fucking Daily Games DM me. He's like, "Yo, like, did you really like lie to our face for like 2 weeks?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, my bad," because he used to be my boy. And he's like, "Damn, bro,
Yeah.
I'm gonna op you forever now." I'm like, "Okay." And then he gets permabanned and blacklisted. So it's just like, and he fucking what's it called? He was alting during the war. It's crazy, bro. The people's ego, like, listen, like, I have an ego, but I don't have that much of a fucking ego where it's like, I can't handle losing a Minecraft war. Like, yeah, I'll crash out, but I'm not gonna start fucking cheating because, fucking, some loser beat me in a Minecraft game. It's not that fucking deep. And if it's that fucking deep to you, you shouldn't be fucking playing Stoneworks because you got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. At that point,
I
like,
mean,
you need to talk to somebody about that shit.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Stoneworks runs on ego, and I think the whole Benelf and that whole story is just a testament to what happens when your ego gets out of control and you kind of fly too close to the sun, and now
Yeah. It's just
you got
committing the
so out
sin
of
of
control.
pride.
Yeah, yeah. You got. I mean, he got invested and involved in this war that he really had nothing to do with. He had nothing to do with Adramas at
Holy
all.
shit, the war was so fucking pointless. Literally,
Yeah.
it's like we are here to war Valdreach. Why are we warring against Syria? Why the fuck are these guys trying to fight us?
Yeah.
Why
They
is
just
the
get it. They
entire
just get
world at
involved.
war with the dramas?
They
Question
get
mark.
involved. They try to extort us, and they get involved for ego, and then they carry out the war because of pride, and then it comes to a point where oh shit, we're out of money, we're out of resources. Now we have to start duping because our ego can't handle us like losing this war, right? So
Yeah.
it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson on not letting your ego get out of control.
I'm surprised that we stayed isolationist for so long. Not gonna lie.
Well, we had to get
You
our
know,
shit together.
I'm glad we
Oh
tried
yeah.
it. I'm glad we did it. I think it was good for us to focus on internals and really find ourselves and find our identity. But I think I don't know. Like at the end of the day, I feel like when people see an isolationist nation, they think like easy pickings. Like I can come and fuck with this nation, and like nothing's gonna happen to me because they're isolationist. You know.
The lasers because
Um,
we don't want to get involved in other shit. There wasn't really anything for us to get involved with besides maybe the Tiberium Zahiria war.
yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
like we aren't exactly a conqueror, so there's no need for us to go around trying to conquer lands. Because our entire thing is we want to focus on the long term.
That's the thing about Stoneworks, dude. Is like all these nations get involved in shit that just really has nothing to do with them, and like for like no good reason either. Like
Yeah, but
Finosh
that's
did
their
it,
ultimate
Solare
downfall.
did it, fucking Pavlov did it. Like we had no problems with any of these groups prior to our conflicts with them, and then they come and they get
Just
involved in
like,
our
yeah,
shit,
fuck
and
you guys for no reason. Do something about
yeah,
it. And
so
we're like, all
it's
right,
like
bet we will.
yeah,
The
and then
latest,
when
we
it
just have an actual foreign policy instead of just doing whatever.
yeah yeah so it's interesting, but when the time comes and when those nations are in the hot seat, why shouldn't we, you know, get our get back? Yeah, that's how I see
Where the hell did Willister go?
I think you got AFK kicked.
it.
No, FK don't work. They turned it off.
Oh well,
Willister,
He's
come
I've been
back.
back.
getting the pings for it.
Oh, you get the ping, but you don't have to stand up.
Oh okay.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been sitting down the entire time.
Oh yeah, no, just told me I was
Well,
disconnected,
and,
even though I wasn't.
That's crazy though. I mean, I don't know. It's been a long road for us, and
Yeah, it really
people
has.
they have not made it easy. But at the end of the day, that's what we need. That's what these citizens need, bro. We need to fucking eat a little shit, so
Anything
they just
doing
know.
isn't easy.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, I know like people I know y'all are saying let's not talk to the chat, but Eric is trying to speak, bro. Bro, imagine if you let him talk, bro. That's gonna be crazy.
Dude,
No, I don't
that's
really
another
care.
episode. That's another episode right
Yeah,
there.
that can be a different episode.
We
Oh
gotta
my
have
god,
an ops
imagine
episode.
Eric Bogdan, General Ick, bro.
Oh
Oh
my
my god.
god.
The ops episode.
The
We would
ops
all
Well,
four
no,
of
that
us
would be
would
the
get
ops episode.
banned.
Itch will be there.
We would all get
So-
banned.
the off episode would go crazy.
Everybody would be banned. Dude,
No, more
I
like
am
the
thinking
band,
about an
more like
off
the banned
episode.
players episode. Also, guys, how come everybody who fights against us is like a rule breaker and ends up getting banned?
I
How does
wonder.
that?
How crazy is that? How crazy is that?
Every single person who fights against us is
Literally,
like
bro. And we do
cheating or
everything the
something.
right way. And look, we're still here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, sometimes it is hard to like see, like, bro, all these fucking dupers, like, you know what I always think about? So you always hear about the dupers that get caught. How many dupers do you think are on the server that have just like never been caught?
I think it's like a rotational seat. You know what I mean? I think like 3 people get caught, and then like 2 more people fucking start duping again.
That's the ratio.
You know,
I mean, what if it's like,
whatever it is.
what if it's like only a small portion of the dupers ever get caught? Like most of the people are duped. I low-key feel like that's like what's going on. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think
I
so.
kinda-
I really don't think so. I think listen, there are dupers, but I think all dupers eventually do get caught because this is going back to the ego problem with Stoneworks. They're gonna use all that fucking money and power to go fuck with somebody, and they're gonna fuck with the wrong person.
Maybe. But do you think the staff really like look into where people get their money from?
No, but
Unless,
like
like-
once you start having like evidence to be like something fucking fishy is going on, I mean, I don't know. They've always done like an investigation. You know what I mean? Like we thought
Yeah.
fucking Carl was a duper too, and they investigated him.
I remember that.
Yeah, I thought he was too. I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed.
Oh,
I was
fuck.
DMing him. I wasn't calling him like, bro, just tell me, like like just being honest. Like if you're not honest, I can't help you. Like he was like, bro, I didn't do it. I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah, Carl's too poor to be duping.
Yeah,
not
bro.
gonna lie. Yo, I mean, we could go on to more recent topics like the announcement.
All right, before
Yeah.
we do that, we gotta read the sponsors. So
Alright.
today's episode is sponsored by Mochiko / LA Spawn Mochiko. You get the best picks on the server. We're buying picks now. We're also what else are we buying? Oh, Willister.
Buying axes, shovels, like most of the tools. We have a full stack of netherite in the nether section. So
Yep.
we also have a bunch of blaze rods. We have a bunch of armor sets.
To get your
Like,
fucking
every-
shit that you need at Mochiko. All right.
Truly, prepare for the next world war.
Next
Sorry?
sponsor, this Fantasy Times. You need your fucking news, and you need it now, and you need the fucking news that ain't fucking fake. You fucking read Fantasy Times. That's the best shit that you can read. All right? We clear on that?
But Easy Times is good, so it's the garlic.
Yeah, the garlic. Shout out to the garlic. Shout out to the Oracle. The Oracle. This is fucking based. And yeah, I think that's all of our sponsors for today.
Alright.
And
So,
don't
yeah.
forget, our last sponsor, Surfshark VPN.
Yeah, fucking, oh my god. Rise of Nations, you use code Subterra. No,
You
but
know, that
seriously.
is one thing. Another thing I found really cool about Adronis is all the businesses and all the people that like
Yeah,
have like just done their own, cool stuff.
like
we have,
Maharia. They have all that
Yeah,
shit
we have
going on.
we have a law school in Adronis. Like what the like what, dude? We have a
Yeah,
full
law
law
schools.
class. Anybody,
It's ran by stable genius. though.
yeah, anybody can come to Adromis and take like a full like Adromis Minecraft law course. Like that is how crazy this nation has gone.
A full law system with laws.
Yeah, dude,
I
didn't.
No. All right, we
No,
had some
well, let's-
technical difficulties. Now we are back. The server is up and running again. We were all here.
Deep
We were
State
gonna.
tried to silence us.
The deep state tried to silence us. The deep state of the deep state. So
Yeah,
oh cool. What do you think Adramas has in store for its future?
Man, I think the future is bright. I think one important thing is to start seeing like new players, like people who joined after Adramas was formed, starting to step up and come into like leadership positions of leadership and stuff. Like I can't wait until for the day that we have a president who is like not a founding father, like a president who wasn't there at the start, who like kind of came up in Adramas, Um, yeah, there's a lot of like new blood. I'm really excited to see them kind of take control and steer the ship. Um, I think the future of Adramas is we're going to be getting involved in a lot more foreign stuff. I think Adramas is going to be a much larger player on the international, at an international scale. I think for a lot of our history, we kind of just kept to ourselves, and I think that's definitely starting to change, especially now with the announcement of the new alliance, the Sunfire Pact. That's
What the
it's called,
fuck is
right?
it called?
Jamie, can you pull up the announcement?
Yeah, the Sunfire Concord.
Willister, pull up the announcement.
Yeah, come on,
Let's see.
All
Willister.
right, let's see. We got
Sunfire
the
Concord.
Sunfire Concord. What a
All right,
shitty name,
What a
Alright,
dog
bro.
let's
shit
talk
fucking
about it.
name, bro.
Let's
The
talk- so
United
I,
States of Thomas stands with its allies.
I think the Sunfire Concord is the result of all of our. It's the culmination of all of our diplomacy and geopolitics from the beginning of the nation until now, and everything we've been through. Um, our Solj has, we went through a lot as a nation. I mean, literally, as soon as we formed, we got into a massive war. And Solj has, always been there for us at every turn. Now, of course, there's always, some beef and some drama and stuff going on. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, Soldier's always there for us. They always pulled up for us. They always helped us out when we needed. So now, the server, the people of the server, are trying to tell us that Soldier's evil and that Soldier needs to die. Are you kidding me, dude? Nations that have spent months trying to, support rebellions in our land and fund, Finlish and all these nations. Vagaria, we used to have an alliance with them, and they betrayed us during the
Yeah,
CSA war.
literally
They-
the day of
they
the war.
ratted our storage. So all these nations are trying to tell us that our friend, who's always been there for us, is a bad guy that we have to fight against and that we have to rally against. When that nation has always been there for us and has always helped us, and these
Well,
guys
like-
have always just at every chance they get have tried to like fuck us over and have gone against
Yeah,
us.
it's like all like
Are
the
you kidding me?
stupid shit that they accuse Solj of, they actually do. It's so
They're just not
it's
as
the
good
most
as it. They're just not as good as it.
Yeah,
I
it's
bet you-
hypocritical.
They don't like Soldier because they think Soldier is evil. They don't like Soldier because Soldier keeps them from doing what they want to do. They want to be the new Soldier.
Yeah,
That's the way I see it.
That's the way I
That is
see it,
absolutely
too.
the way I see it. Yeah, and I think that I mean this alliance, the Sunfire Concord, is bigger than just Solj. It's bigger than just the coalition against Solj. It is a group of like-minded nations that are very honest with each other and very truthful with each other and won't backstab each other. I feel like one of the things I hate the most about Stoneworks is a lot of people are very slimy on this server.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of people, the whole political game, backstab your
Yeah.
ally or like the political manipulation. That is my least favorite part of Stoneworks. And I think when you play the server that way, you just ultimately you always fail.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
always
you're
fail.
just an
I think-
asshole.
Yeah, dude. I think the best way to Stoneworks to play Stoneworks is get a small group of friends that you're loyal to and that you're gonna ride with no matter what happens till the very end. And that's what we hope to do with the Sunfire Concord. I'm excited for it. Looking forward to it.
I'm excited too. I think this was like due for a long time. I think this was bound to happen. But I don't know. I'm sick and tired of all these motherfuckers trying to point fingers when they should be pointing at themselves. Like, point at the fucking mirror, motherfuckers. Like, you do
Yeah,
the
dude.
same shit and you do a shit job.
Yeah, dude. And they have the audacity to be like, "Oh, Adramas is on the wrong side of history,"
Yeah,
or
bro.
or they have the audacity to threaten us and tell us to not support Solj. Like, why would we ever Like after everything you guys have done to us, after everything you guys made an op out of us, and now you want us to side with you against our friend
Oh
who's always
yeah.
been there for us. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, I'm
Come on.
Jamie, so I'm gonna pull up the screenshot of this stupid threat. Oh well, I see. Well, it is likely that if you stay neutral or fight alongside Solj, you'll make enemies with the Tiberian Council. Get the fuck out,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
Goofy ass.
Literally
That's
During
goofy.
crazy.
Counter,
Literally
the only
goofy.
person I give a shit about in Tiberium is like Tia Hudapid and also Vladistan.
Yeah, bro. W
Vladis is
Vladistan, bro. We love Vladistan.
and Guab. Shout out Guab.
Yeah, Gawa, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Another great
But
nation.
yeah, man, it's like who would we be, bro? I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror if we turned our back on Solj
Yeah,
and
bro.
any of our allies, you know. Um, like what type of nation would we be? I would rather
Get Death
lose
Ward.
everything
Yeah.
than turn our
But
back
bro, we
on a
treat
friend.
people the way they treat us. Soldier's been treating us with nothing but loyalty. We repay them with nothing but loyalty.
Yeah,
Oh
Fragile,
God.
they paid us with treachery and backstab, so we give them the same in return. Simple
yo,
as.
do you think a world war is like gonna happen, or do you think they're gonna back down?
So
What do
okay,
you
here's what
think?
I think is gonna happen. I think they are gonna back down, but I do think a world war still will happen. I think this whole Soldier coalition thing is probably gonna fall apart. I don't think they were expecting the kind of unity and the support that Soldier's been getting. So I think the coalition will kind of fall apart. But I do think in the near future there will be something else that will be a catalyst for a big war. So I do still think a world war is coming. I think the lines have been drawn. It's just a matter of like what's gonna light the fire. What's gonna be the Franz Ferdinand that sets everything off. We'll see. See what
Oh,
happens.
they took a claim in Bulgaria last night. That's probably what
I
it,
saw that. That might be
yeah,
it.
bro. That
That
might
might
be
be it
it.
right there.
That I was like,
That's
this is
good.
let the games begin.
Let the games begin. Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. I mean, this is what Source is all about. We all know about the big coalition wars on Eldham and Rathnir, and finally Abex is getting its own kind of thing of that. I think I think it was just a matter of time, honestly. And I'm glad people aren't pretending anymore. I'm glad people aren't putting on fake smiles anymore, and the lines have been drawn, and we're getting down to it. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
fun. It's gonna be fun.
yeah. And I'm looking in the Abex chat, like the in-game chat. They be hating on Solj for no reason on them.
The reality is, like, yeah, Soldiers is an empire. They're an expansionist,
Yeah, they are
empire
map
that
painters, but like,
they're map painters. But like
But
the
they're
way I
all
see
so
it
so
is
are
Mexican.
they.
is
So are
that
the ops.
I mean, yeah. That's my problem. The leaders, the nations that lead this coalition that has formed against Soldiers map painting, they are also map painters. They might not be as good at it as Soldiers. They might not be as dominant as Soldier is. But if they were in that position, which is what they're obviously trying to do, that's why they're leading a coalition. It's not because they are against map painters. It's because they want to become the new map painters. You
They're
know.
trying to paint over Sold.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, a lot of smaller nations that don't know any better will probably like buy into it. I Here in Adramas, bro, we see right through that bullshit. We're not buying into that for a second. Um. So yeah. So
On God.
that's what's
On
going on.
God.
Should be fun.
I mean, I don't know. I think we talked about a lot today.
Yeah, we
think this
did.
has
What do
been
you guys
good.
think? What do you guys think's gonna happen in the next election? What do you think?
I
I
think
know I heard Crazy King is not rerunning for re-election.
I know
So
Swiss
what
is
do you guys want to
running.
see?
I know Law is running. I know Boudshaw is running.
Tron's running?
Oh
Wait,
God.
what?
Why?
Wait,
I don't
who
know.
is
I
Swiss
may
running?
be
I don't
wrong.
think
If
Swiss
Tron,
is
if you're in
gonna run.
chat, correct me if I'm wrong.
It should be fun. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see some new blood in this
Arctim for
election.
president. Honestly, I may vote for you, Arctim. I like you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Law's gonna win. I think if anyone's like the most qualified, it's him. But I don't know. I see a lot of people like run for president, but they don't do anything for dramas. Like they don't do anything.
That's one thing. That's one thing I think we need to work on. I mean, I think there are two types of people in dramas. There are the types of people. There are the people that actively help the nation and grind and put in the work and put in the sweat and the tears.
Hmm.
And then there's people who who don't, actively grind and do things for the nation. I think we should, when we pick our candidates, when we elect people, I think we should, try to elect the people that do things, and that put in the work and that have a pedigree and of things that they can point to that they've actively done, and not just vote for, whoever's the best talker.
Yeah, bro, but that's the problem. All these like people, they don't really care.
I think most of them do.
Yeah, but then I don't know. But in my opinion, if they did care, I don't think Watermelon would have gone as far as he did.
I think Watermelon was a great candidate. I
don't, bro. But dude, Watermelon couldn't even run the Department of Interior. How's he gonna run the country, dude?
I think he did a fine job. Like,
but what did he do? But that's the thing. But what did he do?
Well,
he didn't get rid of one squatter claim. He had a bunch of plans for things, but he never got to do any of them. He just never did them.
It was a brand new role in a brand new department, and he kind of had to figure it out.
Dude, fucking Zeno came in that bitch for the whole fucking thing and did all this crazy shit, and he actually has all these processes. I mean, Zeno hasn't done that before.
Here's what I'll say about Watermelon. I think Watermelon is on the right path. He's what Adramus needs. Adramus needs more Watermelons.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think because he has the passion, he has the love for the nation. I think Watermelon's a great guy. I think he's
a great guy. It is not personal. He's a good fucking dude.
Yeah, he's just new. I don't think he has he necessarily had the experience to lead a nation like this. But I think he'll get there one day.
I do want to see Eclipse run again. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah. Has Eclipse ran in every single election?
I think so.
That's wow.
Is he the only person? He ran against Yusuf. I think that was one election he didn't run.
Sub, who was? Oh, it was Carrot that ran against you.
Bro.
Carrot, yeah. Dude, I remember.
And then he lost the thing and then just left and never came back. Like, come on.
Well, Carrot told me. Carrot told me like a week before the election started that he swore to me that he wasn't going to run for president, and then sure enough he runs for president. So I'm just like what? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's the thing. Sorry for yapping, but that's the thing that Adramus is going to deal with. We're going to deal with people who are only here to try to win an election, and then when they don't win, they're just going to disappear. That. And we as the voters and as the electorate need to be able to
we need to remember that.
Yeah, we need to be able to pick through the people who are just here to try to win an election and get power quick, and the people who actually care about the country and are actually, even if they lose, they're still gonna, like Eclipse, for example. Eclipse has lost a few elections now, but he's always still there.
Exactly.
Always there putting in the work. He loves the dramas, like versus a candidate like a Bongo or a Carrot who don't really do much for the nation, and then they lose the election and then they disappear.
Yeah.
But it seems like the voters have been able to figure that out because none of them have won. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. We definitely need more like qualified people, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone genuinely wants to become the president. The strongest thing I recommend is you start like in your local government, like your state government or your province government, whatever it is. And you show all them motherfuckers like, yeah, I can handle responsibility, and then you just keep on moving up. You know what I mean? You go to state, and then you go to, then you run for NA, and then you try to get a secretary position, and then you can run for president. Like, put some fucking experience in your repertoire.
Forget running for the NA. Here's the best way to get to presidency: join one of the departments. Join the armaments department. Join the treasury. Join the culture department. Whatever department interests you. Go join that department. Ask the secretary, what can I do to help? How can I make this better? What do we got to do?
Yeah, put in show initiative.
Prove yourself in those departments. Soon enough, you'll become the secretary of that department. You'll be running the show, and then if you do a good job as a secretary, then you're going to be president. That's the way. Like Crazy, for example. Crazy started off as the secretary of culture. He started off in the culture department under Atomic. Then he became the secretary, and now look, he's become the president. If anybody wants to become president, I think that's the best path because you're proving that you are willing to put in the work for the nation.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yep, man. All right. Anything else?
Yeah,
you guys want
anyone else that has any questions, comments, concerns?
I could go on for hours, dude. I could go on all day. I'm a yapper, bro.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely have you on another episode. But I think this has been good today. I think we can
Yeah.
wrap this up now. But once again, episode is sponsored by Mochico, sponsored by Spent Easy Time. So go check all them out. And like I said yesterday, if you guys want to be on the podcast, or you got some shit to say, or you want something big to announce, shoot me a DM. We'll figure it out. You can have whoever you want on, and we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
get some
we
more
might
money.
even get a bigger studio
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Soon enough, we'll get a bigger studio. But this is what we got right now.
I think this podcast is gonna be great.
To record in
I-
Thornton's living room.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. But this is
And
all
don't
gonna
forget
be
to
it.
use code FAIR to get a free legendary hero
Yeah.
on Raid
Go
Shadow
to TD
Legends.
Bank. They say Subterra. They know what that means. Trust. Yeah.
Use
yeah,
code
slash
Subterra.
pay Subterra network $1 million.
Goodbye. Goodbye.